Aries. Welcome to your August 2020 reading. This is just a general reading. I would say this is what you can expect moving forward. I did definitely get some interesting energy from you. I would say at certain points during next month, you're going to be withdrawing from something or someone and then going back, and then withdrawing again and then going back. I'm sorry for the background noise. But I feel like some of you are really stable right now. I feel like some of you may even be in really, really good relationships. They have great jobs, while others are still in the process of finding themselves. You had Temperance come up twice, once in the reverse and once upright. You also have the Hangman, and to me, that's always the finding yourself, centering yourself, soul searching. The Hermit too. I would definitely say you've got some work to do in the beginning of next month, but then toward the end, from the middle to the end of August, you're really on it, and you've got a lot coming in money wise. It's good. I see so many money cards here for you. So I will place the camera down so you can see all this goodness that you've got going on. Like I said, I really feel you withdrawing from something, and it's obviously something negative, something that's been almost draining you, I want to say. You just don't feel the need to get into it anymore. And I like that. I feel the energy of you taking your energy back and then diverting resources back to yourself, back to your career, back to your art, to whatever goals, whatever dreams you have. I do get the idea that you're going to have some big conversations this month too. I feel like you're going to have big realizations this month. But in the end, I don't think you're going to let anyone control you. I don't think you're going to stop expressing yourself the way you need to. And I am sensing that was a problem for you in the past, especially since we're starting the spread with this Temperance card in reverse. The beginning of the month, I do feel like you're I'm sorry. I do feel like you're a little resistant to change, or you're just having problems adjusting to whatever new normal this is here with the Temperance in reverse. Because Temperance is also balance, but in a different way that the Justice card is. The Justice card is outside balance, external balance, things being fair and even between other people, between corporations, organizations versus the individual, or individuals versus each other. But this is you versus yourself. So whenever Temperance is in the reverse, the balance within yourself needs to be worked on. Temperance is having patience. So in the reverse too, it could be that you're rushing something, especially with this Five of Wands upright here. And of course, if you're reading it, it says strife. All the fives are, my conflict cards, Five of Swords especially. But this is more just you fighting to adjust to something, as I said. Something has changed in your environment, not a huge shock, not a tower moment or a death type of energy. It's just a minor tweak that may have you feeling off balance. This is telling me that if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling discouraged, because the Five of Wands too could just be you just not wanting to put up a fight, especially with this Temperance card in reverse. You definitely do have to remove yourself from something that's draining you, but there are times where it is necessary to fight for yourself and be heard. So I feel like you will have success coming to you, especially financially, but it won't come from passive activity. So I see this combo as the need to have faith, especially in a higher power with this Temperance card. And you just need to know that you haven't been abandoned. I don't know what has caused this doubt. I don't know who has instilled this kind of doubt in you, because the Five of Wands could be like a competitive type of energy too. Someone may have made you feel like they're trying to one up you here, and it just threw you off because you might not even be that type of person, and that's why you're withdrawing from whatever competitive energy has been brought to you. That being said, just in whatever regards it is into, you really need to have faith that you will adjust, have faith that you'll come out on top, and you're not abandoned by any means. With this Queen of Swords here following, you're definitely a strong person. So whoever is trying to get it, whoever or whatever is trying to get under your skin, or whoever has succeeded in getting under your skin, I don't see it being a long-term problem with this Queen of Swords energy. She's the toughest queen there is in this deck to me, especially being a Libra and an air sign. My Mars is in Libra as well, so when I see the Queen of Swords, I think of Libra in their Mars energy. Mars, of course, being the energy of Aries, your sign. So this is how you put up a fight. You were meant to just not be some passive person, or you're meant not to have people walk all over you. So I think innately, not even just because you're an Aries, I'm just picking up the energy that you're someone that is not down for long. Some of you may be dealing. I'm so sorry, my throat is getting dry. But some of you may have been dealing with a loss. Some of you may be in separation from someone you really care about. Some of you may be in a new surrounding, especially with this Five of Wands, that you're just not used to. It's just with the Temperance in reverse, you're really emotionally scattered. You're really emotionally uncomfortable with something, and this is you at least putting on a brave face and working toward getting that resilience back. I don't know why, but I'm feeling divorce, a breakup, and I also feel like children may be involved for a select few of you because I got so many pages, especially toward the end of the spread. So some of you may miss children. I don't know if you have children that have moved out or who just are away for the summer. If you're going through a divorce and you have kids and they're splitting time between both of you, and the other party, and you're just missing them. Regardless, you're someone who really powers through things, and this is how everyone views you, whether or not you view yourself as this person. They see you as resilient, they see you as unfazed, unbothered. Whatever happens to you, you're not down for long. And to clarify, you got the Temperance in reverse this time. So you're trying to transmute this pain into something tangible here with this Temperance card. Temperance is balancing the spiritual and the physical. So your physical needs plus your spiritual and your emotional needs. So this Queen of Swords, getting through whatever you're going through that's painful, just kind of set you back. You're balancing out that strength with also being a little vulnerable and being artistic and creative. um some of you, again, and maybe you are artists and you're turning your pain into art. I'm getting that for a lot of signs recently in the past few weeks. A lot of you are really just using art as a form of healing in whatever form you're doing it in, because art is not always painting, even though for some reason the Queen of Swords in this deck, she's called the painter. I'm seeing this. It could be something as simple as writing, as lecturing. It doesn't have to be super artistic. I I am getting the energy though that you have cut someone off here as well with this Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords is someone who has no problem banishing someone that's unwanted in their life. So if this is a breakup, I do see this being a I'm done with you type of situation. You've hurt me for the last time. I know in order to heal I have to get rid of you, and that's the energy I'm also getting with this. I feel like as well, your strength that you have, this inner reserve that you have, especially with the Five of Wands here too. This is with Temperance in reverse. It's just you losing your inner strength and quickly getting it back here. I feel like you're just using that to heal and to wake up and just get through your day. So if you are, that is something to be proud of for sure. Moving forward, the Six of Wands. Speaking of being proud, this is you being celebrated, and this is victory. So I see a promotion here for some of you, especially since we got all those money cards later in the spread. A lot of pleasant interactions with new people. There is still the need to focus here and not just seek out pleasure with the Hangman, because the Hangman, he's someone that's meditating, that's soul searching, as I said, that's going off on some kind of spiritual bent. And you know, the first thing they tell you once you really try to get into spirituality is to let go of materialism. So I'm not saying you're a materialistic person. I'm just saying that your form of therapy could be something that is, yes, it's physical, but it's something that you shouldn't put that pressure to heal you on, if that makes sense. So let's say if you heal by online shopping, and that's forming a really dangerous attachment, because you're placing your happiness in getting items, and that's where materialism comes in. And so it's not like you're this shallow person, it's just you put your hurt and your pain, and you try to cope by using something material, something you can hold. And there's nothing evil or wrong about it. It's just dangerous, and it's a bad habit to get into. So when I do see the hangman, I see this person needing to release whatever physical attachments they have to things, especially with the Six of Wands. I think that you start that journey, and then you start to celebrate yourself, and other people celebrate you in turn. Because again, they see you as this Queen of Swords. They see you as this resilient, really detached, slightly aloof queen, but someone who gets through things, someone that is never ever really held back by anything. And while that's a lot of pressure to put yourself under, I think you really enjoy support from outside sources this month too. Um, Again, with the promotion at work, again with a lot of pleasant social interactions, I think you're someone that people really gravitate to in general, and they like and admire. And the Six of Wands is just a reiteration of that, and it might be a bit heightened this month for you too, because that's the thing. When you start your spiritual journey and you really get into it, you become really magnetic, because you have this calm presence that is just, okay, I'm not really of this world anymore, or I'm I'm on a higher plane, and it's not to sound conceited or a snobbish, but it's something that you don't see often. So when you see it and you experience it, people really just want to be around it long term, and that's the vibe I'm getting from you. If any of that made sense. But like I said, there still is this need to focus here, and not to seek out pleasure, not to distract yourself. You definitely have a lot of options. I got that pretty heavy for you too. But there is still the theme of not being too passive, while also not being too aggressive, because you did get the Five of Wands. So a lot of artistic art inspiration here too, in terms of art and creating. If you're feeling called to create something, for sure you should go for it next month, or within the next few days. You may at some point with this hangman energy be forced to, because the universe of I feel like the timeline we're in, people and things that aren't for our highest good, they're being physically removed from us. It's not even an emotional feeling anymore. I felt like way back when, you just got if you were an intuitive or a spiritual person, you just got these really intense inklings and really intense visions and dreams to cut ties. Now the universe has had enough of that. This year has been nothing but physical removals of places, of people in higher stations, of corporations and organizations that just should not be in existence, or should not be at the level that they're at. And we're being rebuilt from the ground up. It may feel like it's happening suddenly in some cases and too fast in other cases, but it really is happening. So this hangman and the fool too. The fool showed up for you. The fool has come out for every zodiac sign so far, for the past 2 weeks. It's come up in almost every personal reading I've done. I feel like the fool is the reset card, not even just because it's the zero card, it's the very first card, but because we all need to, one, let go of attachments, and two, seek out our own path and seek out our own new beginning while still being spiritually focused. So I know I said all of that, it's a mouthful, but I do hope it resonates, only because if you keep avoiding what it is you need to do in this life, that you've been put into, I do believe in reincarnation. So if you avoid and actively hide from your calling, I do feel like this card, the Hangman, is a warning that the universe is coming for you, whether you're ready or not. Well, what that being paired with the Six of Wands, it does seem like you are ready, so it's a good sign. By the middle of the month, though, you're really going to be called to be more focused on work, to kind of buckle down and get into that headspace of, what am I supposed to do? What makes me happy? what is going to motivate me, what do I genuinely love, why do I get up in the morning, etc. You've got some really spiritual cards here. And these three, the Fool, the Queen of Cups, and the Two of, I'm sorry, the Queen of Cups and the Two of Wands. These two aren't necessarily spiritual, but this one is pretty heavy, and I went off the energy here, and then kind of coincided it with these two, even though this was a clarifier for whatever reason. But by the middle of the month, you're really going to focus. And I do see that you will have to put your heart, your soul into something in order for it to take off. So if you are in the midst of a project, if you are in the midst of whatever you're doing, creative wise, you have to really just take your heart out and place it on a platter and just feed your art off of that, if that makes sense. You're also in a much more happy state of mind here. You weren't ever really confused. You were just really off kilter, like I said, and a bit. I think you were focused more on your outside face than your inner one. You were so focused on making sure people felt you were okay than actually being okay. I think around this point is when you actually try to give yourself the love that you've been needing for a while. Even if you are in stable connections, even if you are happy in your relationship, I think you've been avoiding yourself because that's coming up a lot for you in this monthly reading. Even though the happy state of mind is here with these two cards, you're finally putting the past behind you, especially with this Fool card. Now, as I said, I got the feeling that some of you are in happy unions right now, and that's great. But I do get that other some other viewers right now are not coming into a happy union, or they're getting out of a really bad connection. So I feel like around this phase, you're giving your love back to yourself with this Two of Wands. You may not have expected this ending. Um, I didn't see Three of Swords here. I do have the Ten of Swords here immediately after this. So you are definitely on your way to being done. Even though you've already physically left. Especially, what card was it? On the Ace of Swords too, to me, and the Queen of Swords. A lot of swords, so just cutting off someone, you physically and mentally are just done. But I feel like you are moving forward, and you're optimistic about finally being free, if that makes sense. I think you're open to any type of new love coming in, especially with the Queen of Cups and the Fool card. I do see that you have a lot of support behind you for sure. You have people that are truly in your corner, and I think they're going to show their support. And with this Queen of Cups, you're going to realize how loved and cherished you are, especially since you have the Six of Wands here too. That's a celebration, but that's a personal celebration. So people are celebrating you, and it's not even out of pity. It's just, you know what, you're this Queen of Swords, but I know sometimes you need a friend, you need a shoulder to cry on. So I feel like you have people that are just ready and waiting for you to lean on them. And when you finally do, it's going to be a celebration. This Hangman is you releasing control too, and just finally letting people love you. And then the Queen of Cups is almost you being overwhelmed with all the love you get. So with that moving forward, and with you having all that support, I feel like it makes sense that the Ten of Swords is right after. A Ten of Swords visually in traditional tarot and a lot of decks, it's not a pretty image, but it's a necessary one. You've been stabbed in the back in some way, you've been betrayed in some way, you've been hurt in some way, but it's an ending with this 10 here especially. It's done. Um, you never really fully heal from certain things. You do carry scars, either forever for a really long time. But I said this, I forgot in which video, but there is a freedom in knowing, like, hey, now that I've removed myself from this situation, there really isn't anything this person can do to hurt me moving forward because I'm just done. I've cut this person off with this Queen of Swords and this Temperance energy. You've really done the work, and you've done it wholeheartedly. You didn't halfway cut this person off. you have banished this person. I feel like this person is blocked on everything, blocked with a capital B. You've changed the locks on everything imaginable. You may have changed jobs, you may have relocated. This is where the energy I got in the beginning of the spread. So this Ten of Swords is you just kind of taking in the hurt, because there is this period, and I can attest to this personally, where you're so busy with the restructuring of your life and it takes there are physical steps you have to take to cut someone off. There are a lot of distractions you can use by moving on physically. I'll say that. And then when it's all done, you're kind of just left with the pain. And you're like, all right, well, now it's time to deal with this. And that's what the Ten of Swords is. It's like, okay, you've done everything you physically needed to do to move on, but now you have to mentally deal with that. You have to mentally cut someone off. And you can't block someone from your mind immediately the way you can from social media. You can't block someone from your heart the way you can immediately from social media. So the Ten of Swords is that beginning process, and it's an ugly card because it's so painful and it's such an ugly process, but it's the first step to building a really good life, and it's the first step to really moving past something or someone. This Four of Swords here too is just you in that resting period while you do that. You're closing out a cycle, and it's something you don't want to do publicly. It's something that you don't necessarily want other people involved with, so you may kind of isolate yourself at this point. But I feel really good energy because I just feel you being so much kinder to yourself. And I feel you being a lot less passive too. I don't know why I got this passive energy from you, even with this Queen of Swords too. But you know that you're loved now. The Six of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Fool card, the Hangman. You know you have support, so it's easier for you to kind of to sit back and rest now and really just reflect, because you know you have so many people in your corner. So here with the Ten of Swords and the Four of Swords, you're breaking bad habits, you're making changes, you're developing a spiritual routine too. I feel like yoga, meditation I feel like is going to be a big thing for you too with this Hangman. You're releasing whatever has a hold on you, because I feel like you're not someone that likes people to have power over you. I feel like you're someone that doesn't enjoy having any type of authoritative control over them in any way, shape, or form. That's why I do feel like all these pentacles here are going to be from you creating your own business, because I really get an independent streak from you. And this Queen of Swords is you. You possibly have air in your chart because you got a lot of sword cards here. Of course, you got a lot of wands being a fire sign, so many wands, but you also got a lot of swords and earth sign energy too. So possibly your chart is a nice little mix of all three, in particular the air sign too. Moving forward, I love that the Ace of Swords is after this Ten of Swords and the Three of Pentacles to clarify. So here's where I start getting that you're or set on your coins now. I should just say the Ace of Swords can also indicate money coming to you in the mail after a delay. So the Ace of Swords could be a delay in some kind of funds, but then the Three of Pentacles can also signify you getting it, if that makes sense. So I'm going off of both these cards coming out together. Yeah, so expect some money in the mail, some of you. And also, for these two, you're working hard to really create some clarity in your life. This Three of Pentacles is also a form of self-expression. A lot of writing cards. So I don't know if I have any writers here. I don't know if I have any artists or sculptors or painters or just someone who even could possibly turn into a motivational speaker with the Six of Wands here too. You have a captive audience. The Star card even came up. I'll get to that later, but you have a captive audience. You have people that look at you and wonder, hey, how did this person get through XYZ? I would like to learn how to get through that. And I do see this as a sign that you really need to kind of get in on that opportunity. If you are someone that wants to share their story and wants to help others heal, that could be a form of income for you too. But all signs point to you having to find what is close to your heart and what your higher purpose is. With this too, it could be a possible apology coming in. I personally, especially with the Ten of Swords and the Four of Swords, I I see you getting a form of closure, but it's coming from yourself because you got temperance come up so many times, and that's where the most energy in the spread kind of was with the two temperance cards right next to each other at the beginning of the month. So I really feel like if you do get an apology with these two cards here, that yes, you accept it, yes, you acknowledge that hey, it's great that you are showing some kind of remorse, but just keep the faith that you really are, you do have better things coming, that you do have a lot of work and things to really look forward to and to focus on. You don't want to go backwards, especially since here is where the money starts coming in. Here's where the prosperity and the abundance starts coming in. This Eight of Pentacles is really the study card, and it's really the honing your skill card. But I see it more as you looking at options because you've upgraded with this Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is new business, new ideas, a new lifestyle. The Ace of Swords, I think, is the only one that signifies a whole new lifestyle. The Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, those are new love offers coming in, and it could also mean new business too. But the Ace of Swords is your whole life changing, so you really don't want to go back. If should there be an apology from this past person. To clarify, you got the Nine of Wands and the Page of Swords. So again, a lot of study cards. And the Page of Swords is also a spiritual card too. You're definitely doing research in some type of spiritual form and finding out what form of spirituality suits you and really just working hard toward and using that to fuel your business. I want to say, I don't know if some of you are healers or some kind of something that helps people, something that's in service to other people. I think people that actively seek out ways to help other people are always abundant, even if they don't realize it with this Hangman and the Three of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords and the Four of Swords. Even if you don't realize it, you are definitely abundant or will be in a major way. Unless someone can be lurking and trying to see if you have any room for them. That's also the vibe I get with this Page of Swords because we all know this is a spying card. So here's where it gets interesting because this is where I kind of got the energy that there were people in your past, especially with this Five of Wands and the Temperance in reverse, there were people around you that didn't believe in you necessarily. Um, they kind of doubted your commitment to something. They doubted the idea that it would succeed, it would go anywhere, that you would make anything of it. And this is the beginnings of certain things starting to show and seeds being planted, and you're really sticking with it. So this Page of Swords to me is someone that could possibly be looking and really spotting the potential and wanting to get in and wiggle their way back in before you really take off. I personally, I feel like once you've glowed up because of some kind of setback, you really don't want to go back to what caused that glow up because immediately that kind of devalues anything that you've accomplished or in a way. I mean, it doesn't devalue it because you definitely did the work, but it's kind of put you back at square one. So you're going to have to redo all that healing with the Temperance card showing up so much. And you really don't want to have to do that again. So should this person try to come back after they see you've glowed up and see you on the way to real success, my humble advice is to keep pushing and to keep going because again, the Ace of Swords showed up, the Empress showed up for you, the Queen of Cups showed up for you. You do have new love coming in for sure. And this person that caused all of this or was a catalyst for all this, it can even be, it doesn't have to even be a past romance. It can be anyone. It can be friends, family, coworkers, bosses. Someone is going to try to get back into your life in some way at the end of next month. because they're going to come in right before things take off for you. Because sometimes people that really are negative and really try to hold you down, we all know it's because they see your potential. And when you cut them off, they're always keeping an eye on you because they know what's going to happen, and they're just waiting for the day it happens. So because they're just someone that knows, all right, she or he was just always this great person, she or he was just always meant for success. They're gonna come get you right before it hits, so that you don't get suspicious. And the Nine of Wands is just saying, hey, you put in all this work, and now somebody wants to come in right before you get the rewards. It's definitely a no for me. So just keep that in mind with any communication from past people you cut off. And just bear in mind that anything toward the end of the month, you really want to be selective, because you got 2 pages here. You got 2 Page of Pentacles here. You're building something from the ground up. And pages mean really good news. Good news about money in particular with the Pentacles. So you're getting double that in one spread, and plus with the Eight of Pentacles too. So you've got some money coming, and but I'm thinking more it's just whatever you're building in terms of business or art or whatever financial moves you're making, it's going to come back and it's going to grow tenfold. So I think there's going to be a point where you just really have to keep going and trying to expand and expand, because you want that Ace of Pentacles, you want that Nine of Cups, you want that Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. So the page is you on your way to getting that. Especially too, you have the Empress. The Empress coming out with 2 pages, 2 pages of Pentacles. Whatever it is that you've started, now you're just waiting to metaphorically give birth. But I don't know if I did say this. With so many pages coming out, some of you may actually be expecting. Take that if it resonates. But you're building, you're investing in something, and it's growing. It's really, really growing. And then you're just gonna watch it perform on its own. Like I said, it does bear saying that some of you may be expecting. So between the 2 pages, Empress, that just keep that in mind. But moving on, for the most part, I think it's just you putting in the work to something tangible and then getting crazy good results from all of it, and that's really good energy. Speaking of good energy, the bottom of my clarifier decks, let's start with the not so great. You did get the Ten of Wands. So I should just get the warning that with this card, to me, it just means you may need to release even more than you already have with this Ten of Swords here and the Four of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Swords. You may need to release physically a little bit more. You may need to release from your heart space a little bit more. I don't know what the situation could possibly be, but I am getting family, I am getting past love, I am getting friends. It could be even all of these people that have just really held you back, and then once you release them and cut ties, you just start flourishing. So with family especially, because 10 to me is family too, and you already had another 10 here, it's really hard to fully cut it. Like, it takes something really bad to fully cut off a family member. So anything that's in that gray area, you really have to be strict about your boundaries. So no, you can't banish people from your life that are related to you, unless of course, barring that there was nothing super horrible. But you do need to set really strict boundaries. The Ten of Wands to me is my boundaries card. So things are great, but at some point you will have to do that checkup on yourself to make sure there's still no negativity lurking. Because when you're successful, all the little leeches, they come out. So you really got to just do a little circle check to make sure no leeches got in your circle. For those of you in relationships, because like I said, I got really good energy for those that are in partnerships right now. Things are great, but at some point you will have to expand even more with this card. Just like my dominant resonators, they have to do a circle check. I feel like you may have to do a relationship check at one point. So you have to make sure that you're not the only one doing all the work. Because what I tend to find in really stable relationships, they may or may not be stable because there's somebody that just has a heavier load. They just wake up every morning preparing to do all the hard work, all the dirty work, and the relationship starts falling when that person notices, and they're just tired of it, because then that's when you get the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles and all those cards, the Five of Cups, the Eight of Cups. That's when you get those cards telling you, like, hey, if you don't do XYZ, I'm going to walk away. So before you get to that point, it's really good to just do checks every once in a while to make sure, hey, both of you are doing the same thing and one person is not overloaded and burdened with doing all the work, if that makes sense. So basically, don't get comfortable and don't let anyone get comfortable, because you're just as worthy as being catered to here, especially with the star card at the bottom of the deck. And for everyone, not even whether in a relationship or not, you should be catered to. And it's okay to seek out positive attention this month as well. I feel like Leo season is a great way to reiterate to everyone, single, relationship, etc. It's okay to want a little attention. I find the Six of Wands, the Star card, it tends to come out during Leo, like either right before and a lot during Leo season, because I think a lot of people just get into their confidence around then, and they start questioning, like, hey, where are my flowers? So now I'm going to pull an oracle card, since we're done the main deck, the main spread. And this is just for my healing deck. I want to see what you need to focus on before this big full moon on Monday. I'm trying to get to all the signs this weekend. And you have got Willow, flexibility. That's funny because the beginning of your spread this month, or next month, I'm sorry, I felt like you just had a really hard time adjusting. And also, like I said, you were a little off kilter with the temperance and balance. So flexibility is going to do you good in August, to just be prepared for any and everything. And we can pull from my healing deck. So release any control, because the Hangman is also releasing control. You are the Emperor too, I think, in Major Arcana. It's one of your cards, as well as the Fool. Yeah, you're the Fool. So yeah, you showed up pretty happily. So it's funny that both the Emperor and the Fool are just on two different spectrums of control. So I would be more in line with the Fool energy this month than the Emperor. And also discernment. That is going to be big for you toward the end of August, because like I said, with the star energy, with the Six of Wands, the Hangman, the Fool, and the Empress, you've got a lot of eyes on you. You've got a lot of abundance coming in, and it's going to bring out people that countered you out, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh hey, I always knew you could do it. So just really keep an eye out on that and hold people accountable. That's all I can say. The Queen of Swords is someone that is just, she forgives but she doesn't forget. And I just would keep that energy too. I will end that there. We're pretty big on time, pretty far on time. I will say I have a Patreon now, so I do more extended love readings on that side of not necessarily YouTube, but I do videos on there. I also have all my socials at the bottom in my description box, and you can always book a personal reading with me as well. So until your next video, stay safe, stay happy, bye.